Okay, are you ready na ba, Vivian, for
Okay, I think
topics today?
I think our audience are ready now to start with our presentation, Rose. Maybe we can kick off na by presenting the first speaker.
Yes, so now I'm very excited. And let me introduce to you our expert from Microsoft and Citrix who will help us know more about the solutions that we will discuss today. So we have Ms. Barbara Anquesia, Azure Business Group Lead from Microsoft, Mr. Normando as a Lead Solution Engineer from Citrix, and of course, our Mr. Royce Mendoza, Technical Support Engineer from WSI. So again, if you have any questions later during the presentation, feel free to type in the chat box and we will answer them later after the after the presentation of the speaker. So to start the discussion on Microsoft Azure, may I call in Microsoft Azure Business Group Lead, Miss Barbara Ann Garcia. Hi, Miss Barbara. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So let me know if I will start.
Yes, I think Miss Barbara, you're so pretty today, and it's loud and clear naman on my end, and I hope everyone is seeing Miss Barbara and can hear her clearly.
Okay, I'll be sharing my screen now. Do you see my screen?
I can see it, Miss Barbara.
All right. So again, good morning, everyone. I'm Barbara Ann Garcia, so you can call me Ann. I'm the Azure Business Group Lead for Microsoft Philippines. So today, I'm so excited to be here as I will walk you through of what Azure is. This session is intended to share with you how Microsoft thinks about the cloud, how Azure can help and support your company's vision. So remember when the pandemic started, there were business disruptions. And every company, may it be an SME type or a big business companies or big top corporations, have adopted to digital transformation so they can run their business remotely. So let me just there. Now, remember that digital transformation is never a one-size-fits-all scenario. So organizations have embraced digital transformation, have reaped the benefits. So they are now more agile. They were able to market their products faster. They have increased their efficiencies and were able to reduce the costs. Now, you might be thinking, why Azure? How should we think about digital transformation and Azure together in addressing your business needs? So I'm going to walk you through 3 companies who have embraced digital transformation and Azure to better improve their organization's operations. So let me just, here is the first story. This is about a company who is hiring more developers than Google and Facebook. So it's Walmart. So Walmart is number 3 in the top Bay Area companies seeking for tech talent. Now they have leveraged data to serve their 300 million customers with better products at lower prices. So I love this story because it shows that large company like Walmart who embrace a digital transformation to empower their employees and truly meet their needs. So there, that's Walmart. The next customer is a small Japanese restaurant that was passed down 3 generations. They are doing custom machine learning work. A server in this restaurant taught herself to learn more about machine learning and is building custom AI models to better serve their customers. So The beauty of this story is that anyone can use our capabilities and services to innovate. So that's via the restaurant. Now, this is the third story. This third story focuses on manufacturing, which is an area we haven't traditionally served well. But meet Chelsea. She has a high school diploma, works minimum wage, and is a single mom. She doesn't have a technical background, obviously, but she works on the front lines of Packer outfitting sleeper cubs, using step-by-step instructions through HoloLens. So not only has Packer found efficiencies training their frontline workers, but they are able to empower their employees like Chelsea through cutting-edge technology like HoloLens. Now, this story is an example of what makes Azure special. When you think why Azure, it's because we have the ability to enable anyone of all backgrounds and any company to do more and achieve more, and ultimately invent with purpose. So that's a statement around how we feel about Azure. We want to invent with purpose and how we think about it, what we deliver to you, how we enable you to invent with purpose. And we do that in some key ways. I'll talk about these as our promises to you on what Azure will always deliver and why we will help you. So let me start. So first, we're going to make sure we have the technology that's meeting your needs today. Actually, not just today, but also tomorrow. The cloud is moving fast. Every week, a new technology is coming out, and it's about meeting new capabilities and investing in those on the horizon, from IoT to AI to quantum computing. And ultimately, from a developer perspective, it's about being able to build on your own terms with the frameworks, the tools, the OSs that you want or that you need to ensure that you have the freedom and the flexibility to be able to work successfully and be able to deploy your application with quality and confidence every time. So technology is sitting in the public cloud, sitting in the data center, sitting on the edge devices, and all are running in the holistic way in a seamless environment. That seamless environment is essential. Otherwise, running that way is going to be expensive and hard and insecure. And the last course is trust. Nothing is more important than trust, particularly when you're talking about the cloud. It's about security. We spend $1 billion a year on cybersecurity with 3,500 security engineers or cybersecurity engineers who are constantly monitoring your data for threats. Then there's compliance. We've said we have the highest number of compliance certification around the world, and that is not easy. But that's because we have invested ahead of the curve. And we will continue to do so because we have the responsibility in the industry to serve that type of role. So those are the promises you have as far as Azure can offer. So let me move into the next slide. So with that, we feel fortunate to have over 95% of Fortune 500 companies inventing with Azure. We also have a good number of top companies in the Philippines, and similarly, we also wanted to partner and support the startup community and the small and medium enterprises. We would like to empower every organization to achieve more. So moving on to my next slide. So currently, we have 66 Azure regions. We have the most number of regions amongst all cloud providers. This will provide you high availability and resiliency. So let me move on to our next slide. Now, if you haven't looked at Azure in a few months, you may be surprised to see what we have these days. This is the high-level map of the class of services that we offer. We have over 200 products and services. You'll notice we've extended to the edge. The ability to run application code in the cloud, but also in that seamless, consistent way in the edge, informing our edge investments. Whether it be Azure Stack or Azure Sphere, all the way to the HoloLens and our mixed reality capabilities. These are the powerful edge devices that work in connection with the cloud. Overall, this gives you the scope of what Azure as a platform and services can do for you. So now you might be thinking, all of these capabilities and services are great, but how should I think about them when it comes to my business? I want to share a typical path of our customers that would take them moving to the cloud. First step is migration. The common practice that we see from the customers is first migrating their workloads from on-premises to the cloud. So taking your virtual machines and moving them to the cloud with no change, which we call a typical lift and shift motion. So next would be, so given the current times, cloud adoption can really help you, our customers, realize benefits such as agility, security, and agility within their organization. So number one would be innovate. The next step is around innovating and modernizing your application on a PaaS platform. This is where you could use your containers to provide more efficiency and speed to virtual machines. Keep in mind that we have different situations, okay? But you or you may not go into that route. You can have a different route from others. So that's on you. So now, as you move into the PaaS platform, you not only can become more efficient, but you can innovate faster and deploy your products to market faster as well. We have a variety of offerings from our PaaS platform, but what truly differentiates us is through our Power Apps services. This provides a self-service option to build apps with no code, which means enabling anyone to build applications on their own terms. Again, we meet you where you are. Now, we've laid out common paths for using Azure. I'd like to walk you through our promise of being future ready. Azure can help you innovate today, tomorrow, and in the future. We are constantly evolving our products and services to help meet your needs. Thus, the promise of Microsoft to be future ready. So given the phase of innovation, we look forward to ensure we're investing in the technology that meets your needs. For future investment, we think about the features, capabilities that should become available. So we think quantum. Today, we offer quantum services, ranging from pre-built solutions to software and quantum hardware that provides developers and customers access to some of the most competitive quantum offerings in the market. If we look to the future, customers like you will be able to swipe a credit card from quantum services, but we're constantly partnering with engineering to push the technology envelope so we can get there in the future. So for Horizon 2, you'll see AI and mixed reality capabilities. Today, we offer many features and capabilities across AI and machine and mixed reality, but are always striving to build more in the future. From machine learning, knowledge mining, apps agents, and HoloLens capabilities. We're constantly working to advance technology so we can build services that meet your needs, not just today, but in the future. So lastly, let's talk about Horizon 1. We've evolved products and services like IoT to become available sooner and faster based on customer needs. So today we invest $5 billion in IoT to add new services and features for customers like you based on your need and the pace of innovation. So as we look at these horizons, we look at them in cycles. So at Horizon 1, we've seen the customer demand increase. So we've invested in engineering and sales to ensure we're building the products and services in need. So we also ensure we have the right sales and marketing folks who are able to share it with you. So at Horizon 3, we're starting that investment cycle, and at Horizon 3, we see it coming and plan for it. So as I've mentioned before, the cloud is moving fast and the pace of innovation continues to increase. So we're constantly staying ahead of the curve to ensure we're meeting your needs today, tomorrow, and in the future. So as I said, the cloud is moving fast. Over the past year, we have launched over 1,000 plus capabilities across AI to blockchain, to Kubernetes, to containers, databases, and more to ensure we're keeping you ahead of the curve. I've just walked you through a few ones that are very exciting and were built and delivered to ensure we are meeting where you are. Now I'm going to walk you through our infrastructure, data, analytics, dev capabilities, and services we have, including our key differentiator. And now I'd like to highlight a few things on this slide. So Azure offers pre-built infrastructure to allow you to customize your infrastructure based on your specific workload needs, regardless of whether you are managing on-prem, hybrid, or cloud infrastructure. We are differentiated from our competitors by offering a first-class experience that has been recognized by partner certifications such as SAP and Red Hat. Number 3, let's talk about scale. We are global with support of 66 Azure Regions and 150 virtual machine size options. Sorry, that's 66 regions. So given Microsoft makes Windows Server, there is no better place to run Windows platforms than on Windows Server, because this is Microsoft as well. They were quite literally made for each other, but we don't stop at Windows. 50% of Azure VMs are running on Linux, which is why Microsoft has established relationship with big Linux providers. In fact, Microsoft is doing something in the industry that has never been seen before. So we've developed an integrated support model with Red Hat supporting and sitting with our support teams in Redmond. So lastly, we have partnerships with SAP, VMware, and Oracle that allows us to migrate all of your data centers. Our goal actually is to enable your mission-critical workloads in Azure itself, so you can have the best of both worlds. Now, I want to walk you through our serverless capabilities. These services enable you to adopt containerized, serverless-based computing architecture for new applications, as well as modernizing existing apps you already have. So with Azure, your developers can build cloud-native applications using canonical modern application patterns. The growing requirements of our modern and digital business world can be a challenge for older applications, but there's a way to future-proof a challenge to these existing applications by moving them to cloud. So Azure supports and provides all the building blocks that your developer needs, actually your developer teams needs to build applications and using containers, manage databases, artificial intelligence as a serverless capabilities. So actually, we have created a broadest of Azure serverless compute solution. So it starts off with the app service, where you can host your websites in addition to the mobile applications. So we also have Azure Functions, where you want to focus on your code and the business logic, and not on the plumbing, actually. So after all, as a developer, only you can write the code. So let's make sure you can concentrate on focus on that. So the beauty of these services is you can use a combination of them all to meet your business needs. Because again, we meet you where you are. Not only do we have 1,000 plus capabilities, but that we have launched in the past year, but we've developed a 1,000 plus supported IoT devices as well. Azure is the undisputed leader in the IoT when it comes to the cloud. We've been investing over $5 million in our IoT ecosystems, from products to our partner ecosystem. We have worked closely with our partners to ensure they give you the device insights you need so you can transform your business. So we designed IoT to ensure we had a comprehensive portfolio of devices. It was simple to use while it's secure end to end. Now there are thousands of thousands of Azure IoT customers out there across many industries. This is a sample scenario, a customer use case. Uber wanted to increase the security in their mobile app. So they use the sentiment cognitive service. So when a driver logs into their Uber app, they type their PIN, but also use facial recognition cognitive service to log them in as a second factor authentication. So they were able to roll this out in a matter of 3 months. They are able to take advantage of these pre-built AI services. Overall, it's a good on-ramp to see how customers use AI with your services. So our second promise is around building on your own terms. From a developer perspective, we want to provide the flexibility needed to deploy apps on the frameworks, OSs, and tools you want, with quality actually every time. So you have choices with a commitment to open source and support from all languages and frameworks to build and deploy how and where you want. Okay. So when we say build on your own terms, we think about accelerating developer velocity, which means we focus on helping developers build proactively or productively, enabling secure collaboration within the team, the organization, and a broader global community of developers. So scaling your innovation by helping developers empower your entire organization to participate in the digital value generation. So Microsoft have completed the acquisition of GitHub. GitHub is at the heart of the open source community and will always be an open platform that supports all developers. In fact, GitHub today is the largest developer community on the planet, with over 40 million developers from every country on Earth. So at Ford company alone, 8,000 employees use GitHub to innovate and collaborate with a vast ecosystem of third-party software developers. So imagine that for just one company. Now let's talk about Power Apps. So the combination of Azure and the Microsoft Power Platform is incredibly unique. So it enables developers to focus on the high value tasks and accelerate the delivery of cloud-based solutions. So a business process expert can apply their specialist knowledge and creativity directly. So innovating and participating in the value generation today. So we have the enterprise cloud platform and complete toolset to help you deliver more apps and scale your business to new heights. So there. So at Microsoft, we create tools for every developer and every app, and we continue to invest in new features for Power Apps. And with the support of our great community, adoption is rapidly growing. Despite all the momentum, we're not slowing down. We are innovating faster than ever. We have released over 400 new features and improvements. So what differentiates us from our competitors is that with Power Apps, we provide a low-code way to rapidly build cutting-edge apps for mobile and web. So ultimately, our goal is to ensure you have the choices with what frameworks, OSS, and tools you want to use to build and deploy your apps successfully. So now let's cover our third promise. This is to operate hybrid seamlessly. We believe in hybrid. We're investing in hybrid. And we're the only company to have truly consistent hybrid experience. Enterprises rely on hybrid approach to benefit from their on-premises investment, and at the same time unlock the innovation of the cloud. As more businesses expand computing to the edge, hybrid capabilities must enable apps to not only run seamlessly across on-premises servers, but public clouds and edge devices, but also enable consistent management, security, and governance across all distributed locations. Now let's look further into our hybrid solutions. Azure takes comprehensive approach and offers unique hybrid capabilities that gives customers the flexibility to innovate anywhere in their environment. Enabled by Azure Arc, you can bring Azure services to any existing infrastructure, including other clouds you are using. So you can take advantage of cloud benefits everywhere, such as scalability, fast deployment, and always up-to-date cloud innovation. You can build your Azure consistent new cloud infrastructure in your own data centers with Azure Stack. So you can modernize your data center and run cloud native applications on premise while taking advantage of existing investments and meeting your regulatory compliance. So you can extend AI to the edge devices with Azure IoT. So you can do machine learning and advanced analytics close to the users and the data. So as a result, you can gain real-time insights and deliver immersive experience at the edge of your network, opening up endless new opportunities. And you can do it all using Azure Arc. This is a single control plane to seamlessly manage and secure your IT resources, such as Linux, Windows, VMs, Kubernetes clusters, across multi-cloud on-premise and on the edge. So our last promise is our most important one, trust. We believe our customers should fully trust the cloud they choose to bank on for their business. So we drive to provide the most secure and compliant cloud platform with privacy at the center of all the innovations. And we have the most certifications in the cloud, from managing identity across these paradigms to building apps to run across them. To highlight a few points on this slide, I've mentioned before we are global. We support 66 Azure regions around the world, fastest and most resilient global network in the public cloud. So more than 160 edge sites targeting targeting 30 millisecond latency latencycy 'across the planet. So we want you to feel protected. So we heavily invest in security. Lastly, we have 91 compliance offerings, from certifications to laws we abide by, like GDPR. So that's how we keep our promise to you in terms of security. So I'd like to share with you our cloud adoption framework. This is a guide on how you start your cloud journey. It starts with the definition of expected business outcomes and the business justifications to move to the cloud. So with this framework, you're able to define your migration strategy based on your needs, uh, plan it out, ready your organization, and implement proposed solution, all while having the proper cloud operations practices in place. So governance and management are key elements in generating a cycle where constant optimization and change management takes place. All these components, part of our cloud adoption framework, will guide you through this journey, helping you control your fears, uncertainty, and doubts about the cloud. So moving on to for my last slide, I also want to share with you that we have an ongoing investment with Microsoft Learn. It's free and has a global available capability. So it has over 400 Azure courses. You get badges, milestones, and learning paths. This is directly run out of the engineering team. It's a place where you'll get the latest and greatest content. So please take advantage of this as a great readiness tool and give us your feedback. So again, thank you so much for inviting me today to share how Microsoft can support your business.
Wow, that was a very informative presentation, Miss Barbara. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you very much. So, do we have any question from the presentation from our audience? If you have question, you may send it to our chat panel or click the raise hand button so that Miss Barbara can answer your question right away.
Thank you, everyone.
Do you have any question from the chat panel, Rose?
Yes,
Anything
actually, as
here?
of now, no questions.
All
Guys
right.
and attendees, feel free to raise your concerns or questions with regards to our topic with Miss Barbara. So you can just chat in on our chat box. Okay, I guess there's no questions yet, Vivian. So
All
if
right.
we don't have any question, let's now proceed with our second speaker. But by the way, in case na during the presentation may mga questions na parang napapaisip, you can ask na agad even during the presentation. So there's tech engineers naman that can answer you, even the project managers, if may mga questions. So yeah. May I call Mr. Norman Jose, the lead solution engineer, to lead our next topic? Hi, Norman. Good morning.
Hi, Rose. Hi, Vivian.
Yes.
Hi, Sir Norman.
Can you hear me, guys? Well,
Very
Yes,
well,
I can hear
sir.
you. Yes.
all right. So let me just share my screen. So I'm just using LTE. So if I have any audio issues, just let me know. Rose, Vivian.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, Sir Norman.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Norman Ate. I'm the lead solution engineer from Citrix Philippines. So now that Barbara shared about Azure and the value it provides to the business, so let's just zoom into one of the solutions, which is the Microsoft Azure Virtual Desktop. But before that, let me share some of the things that we've been doing together. So the partnership that we have with Microsoft, and then I'll drill down to the Azure Virtual Desktop, at least an introduction for that, and then share some of the capabilities that we add on top of it. And later on, Royce will be taking over and will do a demonstration on Azure and Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service so that you'll appreciate the solution better. Okay. So yeah, there is really forever. Look how far we've come. So we've been a partner. Microsoft and Citrix has been a partner for more than 30 years now. So we started on delivering just the application through the terminal server. And then we've been collaborating on how we could deliver virtual desktop as well as how we can optimize Microsoft Teams and Skype. And then, eventually providing you an intelligent workspace wherein we could guide you and automate some stuff so that you could focus on the things that matter most on a day-to-day basis. Leveraging all the artificial intelligence and machine learning, so that it will be more simple for the users to access all the applications and data they need. So we've been a partner again for more than 30 years. We have around 400,000 customers and around 110 million users worldwide. And as you can see, we've been continuously innovating from remote access to virtual computing to secure digital workspace up to the workspace intelligence. And we will always continue that partnership, and we will always continue to innovate. So as you can see here, these are some of the latest innovations that we've done together with Microsoft. We've actually simplified the Azure migration. So for some customers who are still leveraging Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop on-premise, with Microsoft, we actually simplified that hybrid approach wherein you could run workloads on-premise as well as on Azure and have that flexibility to spin up applications and desktops on-premise or in Azure. We also have that simplify remote work and collaboration. So as I mentioned earlier, we've been enhancing and optimizing the experience on Teams and how we integrate with the Power Apps and Power Automate for the intelligent cloud of Microsoft. And then lastly, we've been increasing the resiliency and flexibility in terms of how we could auto-scale, how we could start up, how we could stop those workloads on Azure so that we can give a better total cost of ownership to our common customers. And then even the workload migration. So that's really important, especially for those who have invested on Citrix and still on-premise. So it will be easier for you guys to move your workload from on-premise to Azure. And these are some of the joint solutions that we've been delivered so far. So these are the recent ones. But as you can see here, there are 3 areas that we've been working on. So one, of course, is the workspace, wherein you could deliver that intelligent workspace, automate stuff, and guide all the users to access those applications and desktop. And then as well as the virtual apps and desktop service. So we provide the management component. So the data operation for all the Citrix components. And we leverage Azure as the platform wherein we host all the workloads, the application, the virtual desktop, as well as the data. And then with the combination of on-premise and Azure, so we can integrate both environments to our networking stack, like our SD-WAN solution and application delivery controller. So with Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service, we can help companies reduce Azure's total cost of ownership. And then with Citrix Workspace and the enhancement that we've made on top of that, we could actually provide like a better experience on Microsoft 365. And then of course on the Citrix networking, we increase the benefits of Azure and Microsoft 365 as well. So that it will be easier for those customers who haven't adopted yet a fully cloud environment. If most of your workloads are still on-premise, then you can do so. And then while slowly migrating to Azure or to a public cloud environment. So for today's session, so the objective is really to understand Microsoft Azure Virtual Desktop, and we will dive into the Citrix value add to AVD or Azure Virtual Desktop, and then give you some resources so that you can get started. So for Azure Virtual Desktop, as you can see here, it's actually generally available worldwide. So you can avail this service. It's the only multi-session Windows 10 experience that you can get now. It's just via AVD. And then it enable optimization for the Office 365 Pro Plus. And then for some customers who have been using RDS or the remote desktop services solution to deliver like a shared desktop or shared hosted desktop and virtual application, you could leverage Azure Virtual Desktop to migrate those kind of environments or users to AVD. And then, of course, with the scalability and performance and security on the cloud, you could actually deploy it faster to Azure Virtual Desktop, especially for those Windows 10 operating systems. So many customers have actually entitlement or eligible for Azure Virtual Desktop. So for those customers who have Microsoft 365, like the E3, E5, or for the academic, like A3 and A5, and those for those customers who have like Windows 10 VDA, they're actually entitled to Azure Virtual Desktop. And then for those who are leveraging the server workload, for as long as you have RDS or the Remote Desktop Services CAL license with software assurance, you should be entitled also to access Azure Virtual Desktop. So the only thing that you have to think of really just to pay for the virtual instances or the VM, as well as the storage and networking that will be consumed when users are actually accessing those services. And part of the recommendation is actually to look into the reserve instance of Azure. So that will give you like a 72% saving if you do it like a reserve instance instead of like a monthly payment option. So now let's dive into the Citrix value add to Azure Virtual Desktop. So yeah, for the past 3 years now, we've been increasing the customers on Azure. So most of our Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop customers run their workloads on Azure. As you've seen, our partnership is really to move most of our customers, especially for Citrix, for those on-premise customers to Azure. So that's the partnership that we have with Microsoft, and Microsoft as well is actually the Citrix will be the preferred platform also for the Workspace. And then 80% of the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop service are actually hosted on Azure as well. So even most of our workloads, like the management component, like how we deliver our service, it also runs on Azure. And as you can see here, Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop service can actually increase the user density. So that's the idea on how we could optimize the performance and the instances available in Azure, so that you could get the best total cost of ownership if you run the combination of Citrix on top of Azure platform. And Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop service extends the Azure Virtual Desktop. So for those customers who are still delivering Linux operating system, Windows 10 operating system, or even Windows Server operating system on-premise. So with the service, which is the Virtual Apps and Desktop service, you could actually extend those workloads from on-premise to new Azure Virtual Desktop OS entitlement. So that so there are a lot of use cases that you can look into, like disaster recovery, like balancing between those on-premise and public cloud. So if you're slowly migrating some of your systems, applications to Azure, then it's also better to put some workloads for Windows Virtual Desktop on Azure as well, so that the operating system or the desktop operating system is actually closer to the backend system. So that's the flexibility, so the hybrid it provides. And we can actually accelerate the time to value, so that we could manage all the images centrally, So you don't have to think of how you will deploy those existing images that you have on-premise. So with Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service, you can leverage all the existing policies, images, and even the profiles that you have on-premise. And you can easily migrate it to Azure platform. And the beauty about it is that you don't have to invest on retraining your people because they have the knowledge in Citrix. It will be the same tool to manage all the applications and desktops that you have on-premise while slowly migrating to Azure. And it actually provides a user an intelligent experience. So whether they're using an iOS, an Android, an Apple, Chrome, or even Windows, Thin Client, Zero Client, Chrome, no? So regardless of the device, they could actually access all their applications, no? Whether it's SaaS application, Windows applications or the client server application, web applications, no? Even the traditional ones, so that they will have a unified experience across devices. So we even deliver high-end applications like the CAD or 3D modeling to any type of device. So with the availability of graphic cards, on Azure as well, like the N series that they have, we can support this kind of applications. Especially for those companies who are really looking to work from home and they're supporting some of the graphic designers and they wanted to spin up like easily those workloads. So a good fit would be like spinning it up on Azure, leveraging those N series models together with Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service. And of course, it provides a modern approach to monitoring and control. So it's not just on the security layer, but as well on the performance too. So we monitor the log on time, how fast they can access their application, and then we even monitor the behavior of the user. So whether they're doing it correctly or not, whether they're accessing the applications or the desktop from within the corporate network or outside the corporate network. If they're violating some of the rules, like they're going outside the restriction that we provide within those policies, then we could monitor and we could give them like a risk score, on every user, so that for the company we could actually decide whether to continuously give them access or block those access based on the security profiles or the things that they've been doing on a day-to-day basis. And as you can see here, there are several offerings. So the simplest one would be the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Standard for Azure. So this is just basically a desktop as a service. So if you wanted to spin up desktop easily on Azure, so this is the service. And if you wanted to get some kind of like flexibility wherein you could manage multiple public clouds. So one of them would be on-premise, one of them would be on public cloud. So the good solution would be the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service. So it provides like an advanced management, provisioning, and better user experience across Azure Virtual Desktop workload. And the last one would be the Citrix Workspace, wherein we provide like a very comprehensive digital workspace, an intelligent workspace, so that you can access any type of application. So SaaS, web application, client server application, including the resources or workloads running on Azure Virtual Desktop. So just imagine like one workspace wherein you could get everything, like on-premise virtual desktop applications, workloads in Azure, all the SaaS applications, all the web applications, including all your data. So that's a complete workspace. So it's not virtual desktop, it's not virtual app. It's a complete workspace where you could access all the things that you need to access on a day-to-day basis. So where does Citrix add the most value? There are three areas really. So one of them, as I mentioned earlier, is the hybrid environment. So with Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service, there's flexibility. So you can still work on starting migrating your management components to Citrix Cloud, and then still manage your on-premise environment, and then eventually have that hybrid setup. wherein we could run workloads on-premise as well as on Azure. And then, of course, the second one would be the user experience. So that's one of the things that we've been focusing on. We wanted to deliver, Microsoft Teams to Citrix 4000 desktop service, having that performance with all the audio and user interactions better than any platform or any solution in the market. And then, of course, performance and security. So it's really important that we make sure that we strike a balance between the two. So some of the solutions, they provide that performance, but they lack security and vice versa. So with Citrix, we wanted to have the user the flexibility to use their any type of device, make sure that they can still do their stuff while actually ensuring the security and the control for those devices and applications. So some of the product highlights and features, let's go through it. So there's a lot of value add that Citrix provides to Azure Virtual Desktop. One of them, I've been harping that already, like the hybrid cloud environment for management. So the other one is the session recording, wherein you could actually record and play back some of the user sessions. So this is critical for, especially for those environments wherein you manage call center agents and some of the partners or vendors that you have. So at least you have a record of everything that they've done on the virtual apps and virtual desktop. So in case there's investigation or you need to go back to in time now wherein you want to audit all the session, then with session recording you could do so. We also provide auto scale as part of the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop service. So it's a capability wherein you could turn on, turn off on demand those virtual instances in Azure. So that will give you a better total cost of ownership. So it's like more of like a on-demand kind of setup with auto scale. And then the other one would be the workspace environment management, so that we could increase the density on every virtual instance that we have on Azure. So with workspace environment management, you could increase the number of users that could leverage a particular instance on Azure. And then there's also some of the security capabilities around app protection and watermarking. So app protection is basically a anti-keylogging solution and anti-screen scraping. Most of the bad actors today are actually sophisticated now, and they can actually monitor the activities of every individual. So they can even install some of the applications wherein they could capture the things that they type now on the keyboard and do like a sequence of scene capture, so that they could analyze and understand how the behavior of the user, so that they could do all the bad things that the hacker can do. No? So with app protection and watermarking, that will help us secure the connection to your environment, as well as it serves as a deterrent too, especially for the watermarking. So there's no solution in the market today wherein you could prevent someone from taking a picture. So what you can do is just put some watermarking, put some information in there on the screen, the computer name, the information about the user. At least that will make the user think twice before they take a picture of sensitive information. So these are some of the value adds that we provide. So let's go through it. Like as I mentioned earlier, the auto scale, wherein we could actually save costs in the cloud in Azure. So as you can see here, we could enable that as part of the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop service. So once you turn it on, you could actually get at least 40% savings, depending on how you actually leverage this particular feature. So you could specify the peak time and non-peak hours for the user, especially for those a typical schedule like 9 to 6 p.m. So that within 9 to 6 p.m. so the instances are really active, right? But after 6 p.m. some of the workloads are starting to shut down. So just to save cost on Azure. And then once there's a demand, beyond that, beyond 6 p.m., then they can easily turn it on one by one. So that's the beauty about Citrix Virtual Assistant Desktop Service Autoscale. This is just the admin experience. So if you go to Virtual Assistant Desktop Service, you go to Delivery Group, and you could create actually a policy on Autoscale. And you could specify all the settings in there as you see fit. And then the other one would be the Workspace Environment Management. As I mentioned earlier, this actually saves a lot of instances in Azure. So we've actually leveraged this in some of our clients already, wherein they used to have maybe hundreds of virtual desktops. So we actually reduce it to a more leaner instances while enabling the workspace environment management. So one of them is actually the T-Mobile. So they get like $1 million savings for other IT initiatives. So 10% server scalability. So it improves the scalability of the virtual machines that they have on Azure. It saves them around $1 million. And then it improves the login time around 56%. So not just the density that we adjust to workspace environment management, but as well as the performance that the users get while we improve the login time and how they access those applications. So it's really a good feature that I suggest you take a look at it. Just enable workspace environment management on Citrix Virtual Assistant Desktop Service so that you could get more savings and improve the performance of the user on the access application. So again, 70% improved server scalability. So that's for the resource management. So we just make sure that we utilize all the resources available on that particular server. So the RAM, the CPU, the input, output, or the IOPS, and as well as improving the log on time for user environment management. So we take out all the clutter, not unnecessary applications and data. So once they log in, it will be faster, and the application response time will be better too if you enable workspace environment. And the other one would be the analytics and director. So we don't just monitor the security or the performance, right? So even the usage we will also monitor. So for analytics, there are several flavors now. So there's security, there's performance, or even usage analytics. So for the security analytics, it actually focuses on the user entity behavior analytics. It checks on whether you're accessing from a untrusted network. So if you're using like a jailbroken device, it actually increases your security risk. So if you're trying to download, let's say, information at around 2 a.m., so that actually increases your security risk or posture as well. So with those scores, it either blocks your access or actually limits the bandwidth or the data that you could download from the corporate network. So with security analytics, we could do that, as well as the performance. So we could see the login times, what are the top 10 applications that they are trying to access. So with all this information, we could have like a better visibility. And with those information, we could improve the applications and the desktop performance through performance analytics. Yep. And then these are some of the things that you can do on performance analytics. As you can see here, there's all the users with user experience. Session with logon duration. You can see here, even the profile being loaded. So how fast they load the profile, and even the brokering and the logon script. So all the things that you need to understand, especially around performance logon. So you could go from one location to another. So if you have like a huge environment, And you can even check the session log on duration. So it's pretty much straightforward on how you check all the users that you have worldwide, if it's a worldwide deployment. So it's just so you can see here the log on duration, the session responsiveness as one of the keyword search that you can do. And then of course on the user experience course, we monitor a lot of stuff, so the latency that they're having on the end user, the log on duration, the failures, so how many successful connection failures and all, and how and even the reconnection. So with all this information, with machine learning, artificial intelligence, so we do some statistical modeling and then some benchmarking, and then we provide a user experience score to those users. So of course, 71 to 100 would be excellent, and you could identify those users already. So you can be more proactive in terms of like how the individuals or employees are faring to the other employees. So those are the things that you can do on performance analytics. And of course, with Microsoft Teams and Skype optimization, I've shared this earlier. So we wanted to make sure that through Citrix Virtual App and Desktop Service, we can deliver the best experience on Microsoft Teams. And we do, not just on Teams, but also Skype and other similar platforms. And then, moving to the security. So you've seen all the capabilities around how we could save money, right? In terms of auto scaling and all, how we could monitor and manage all the users. Now let's focus on some of the things that we could do around security. So as you can see here, there's a lot of things that we could provide, like the key logging protection, as I mentioned earlier, the screen capture protection as well, even the watermarking and session recording, and then the access control and secure browser. So let's go through it. So for non-domain join or AKN air gap, so these are some of the concerns that we've been seeing from most of our clients. So we've actually secured our perimeter, I mean the corporate network, right? And most of the machines there are domain joined. So very secure. But how about for those machines that are not joined to the domain or maybe a personally owned device? And we actually provide like a separation between those devices. So with Citrix, we wanted to make sure that even those for those non-domain joins, they should still be able to access their applications and data securely with the help of Citrix Virtual App and Desktop Service. And then with Citrix Workspace app, we could actually enable app protection. So app protection gives you two capabilities. One is the key logging, anti-key logging capability and the anti-screen capture. So with anti-key logging capability, once you type your username, password, or even your OTP, or two-factor authentication, all those information will be scrambled. So there's no way for the hacker or the bad actor to capture those credentials. And then there are also malware wherein some of the bad actors installed to the computer, especially for those machines that have been compromised. So they install a malware and then they could capture all the things on those screens. So and they will actually analyze how they work on a daily basis. So with anti-screen capture, with app protection, we could prevent we can prevent that thing from happening. So watermarking and session recording will be very critical, especially for securing all the intellectual property and making sure that most of the users within the organization can comply to the security policy. So, and then there's also watermarking, as you can see here on the left. You can provide some watermarking. You can see here the domain and then the username and even the IP address of that user. So that will actually enhance the intellectual property protection and somehow prevent from losing some of the sensitive information that you have. So, and lastly, the secure browsing capability. As you can see here, we still have that session watermarking. It's like a browser on top of browser. As you can see here, it's actually using Safari as a browser, but there's also another browser on top of it. So this is what we call the secure browser. So in effect, whatever you do on this secure browser will not even affect your internal network or compromise your computer, because it's actually a service coming from Citrix, wherein you could access several public sites. No, so if it's compromised, then you will be assured and secure that your computer will still be safe, because this is like a disposable browser that we provide. So you can see here there's watermarking, and then you could still navigate away to the secure browser, and you could go to different websites. So this is really good for internet separation. No? So some companies, they think of like even some of the government agencies, they provide like two computers, one with connected to the corporate network, and then the other one is just for the internet, right? So with secure browser, you could still have one machine, but having that separation on the internet. So as you know, all the problems are sometimes coming from the internet. So if you separate the network for that and make sure that the users can still do their stuff, no, whether it's accessing internal application or external website, then secure browser will be a really good fit for that kind of scenario. So with that, these are some of the resources on the Serverless Desktop interface. Just visit that particular site so that you could learn more about EVD. And I think that's the last slide. So if you have any questions, just feel free to put it in the chat box so that you can answer them now or later. Yes, Rose.
Alright. Okay, thank you, Sir Norman. That was a very, again, informative presentation. So as you can see, guys, I hope nakita nyo yung solution that Citrix can offer, as well as how it, kung paano siya better together with the Azure. So during this pandemic, syempre right now, Rose, tama, 'di ba? Parang we're in this
Correct.
in this situation wherein parang yung setup ng work natin is like parang we really need to work anywhere, anytime, kasi nga sometimes, 'di ba, we're on lockdown, we can't
More
go
on
to the office.
virtualization.
Yeah, oo. So parang sometimes
Yeah,
during this time we need to adapt kung ano yung parang working environment na dapat meron tayo. And as you can see,
correct.
sa
I agree.
presentation, Azure and Citrix can give you that solution, that parang setup that you need for you to be able to like create this working environment or this work environment. Thank you, Sir Norman, for the presentation. So any question from our audience?
Question? I think lahat magkakaalaman tayo kapag nag-quizzes na tayo later, Bibs, no?
Alright. Oo. So,
Yes,
Rose, ano ba
so
yung next natin for the audience? I think meron pa tayong one presentation from our one of our speaker. So, I think he'll be discussing or doing a demo, right? So, why not
yes, correct.
introduce? Alright. So, okay, please introduce
Okay.
na our next presenter.
Okay, if you don't have any question, but again, if you have any question, feel free anytime to chat on our chat box kahit may nagpe-present, or even tapos na yung ating presenter for the Microsoft and Citrix, you can still ask question once na may mga naisip na tayo na questions or mga queries sa mind natin na pumasok. Okay, so if you don't have any question, let's now proceed with our third speaker. May I call Mr. Royce Mendoza to lead the demo for Citrix on Azure. Hi, Royce!
Hello, Miss Rose. Hello, Miss Leeds.
Okay,
I am going to share my screen po muna.
sure. Thank you, Royce.
So nakikita na po ba yung screen ko?
Yes, Royce,
Uh,
pero yung Teams ang nakikita namin. Wala
yes.
tayong
Okay, okay.
Bakit?
presentation.
Okay, sorry po.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay? Okay,
Ayan,
so
okay.
so once again po, good morning. So my name is Royce Christian Mendoza. So you can call me Royce po. So I'm a technical support engineer from WSI. So I handle Citrix, digital workspace, and application delivery and security products. So for today, I'm going to discuss Citrix on Azure. So Azure will be our resource location. So all of the workloads will be running on Azure. So without further ado, I'm going to start. So what I have here is Microsoft Azure portal. So I'm on the portal of Azure, and we created Citrix Azure Demo Resource Group. So on the resource group, um, I have created 4 virtual machines for this demo. So of course, we need AD Active Directory. So this will be my Active Directory that will that will be used for my authentication and for my users and computers. And the next one is I have Citrix Cloud Connector. So the Citrix Cloud Connector will be the communication from Citrix Cloud or Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service and the Microsoft Azure, which is this one. And the next one is I have here Master Windows 10. So I will be delivering Windows 10 operating system to our users. So I created a virtual machine Windows 10. And the last one is Windows Server 2019. So I'm delivering virtual applications and virtual desktop using this virtual machine. So as you can see here, I remoted the Active Directory. So this is my Active Directory. And what I also have here is my Citrix Cloud Connector. So I have installed Citrix Cloud Connector on this virtual machine. So this virtual machine is Windows Server 2019. So I only install Citrix Cloud Connector, and this is a domain joined virtual machine. And for you to download the Citrix Cloud Connector, of course, you need to go to citrix.cloud.com and log in your credentials, and you will be redirected to this page. So first of all is you need to go to resource location and um, a second. So Cloud Connector, and you can click the connector that with a plus sign on the left side. So you just need to continue and download the Cloud Connector for this virtual machine. Okay, so the next virtual machine that I'm going to present is the Windows Server 2019 VM. So I downloaded a VDA server, so Virtual Delivery Agent. So this virtual delivery agent will be the one who will communicate to the Citrix Cloud Connector, and the Citrix Cloud Connector will be the one who will communicate to um, Citrix Cloud or the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service, which the Citrix components are hosted. Okay, so if you have any question, just feel free to chat na lang po. Okay. So for the Microsoft Azure side, so that's it. So I only created 4 virtual machines. So for the sake of this demo, I created only 4 virtual machines. So I have AD, I have Cloud Connector, and I have 2 virtual machines, Windows Server and Windows 10, that I will be delivering to our users. Okay, for the next one, or for the next presentation, I'm going to focus on Citrix Cloud. So this is Citrix Cloud. You just need to type on the URL page, citrix.cloud.com, and after you click it, you will be redirected to this login page. So you need to enter your credential, so username and password. So this is my username for this demo, and I'll already input my password. So for another layer of security for the management side, so it will require you an OTP. So this is a requirement for Citrix Cloud. So I'm using Microsoft Authenticator for this. So Microsoft Authenticator generates OTP um for this and after you provided a correct OTP, it will redirect you to the uh, admin page. So as you can see here, this is the Citrix Cloud admin page or landing page. So as you can see, we have multiple services, Citrix Analytics, application delivery management, endpoint management, and of course, virtual apps and desktop service. So this will be our demo for today. So virtual apps and desktop service. And as you can see on the when I scroll down, we have multiple services that we can use. We just need to request a trial, or you can coordinate with our PM, with Miss Rose, for us to provide a demo for you. So I also want to emphasize this. So we have, as I said a while ago, we have the resource location. So the resource location will be on Microsoft Azure. So all of our resources, all of our applications, all of our desktop will be running on Microsoft Azure. So which is this one. And I installed Citrix Cloud Connector for this. So as you can see here, I have ctx-cc.ctxazure.com. So this is my domain, and this is my computer name. So I already installed the Citrix Cloud Connector, and as you can see, there's warning sign over here, and it says, and to maintain high availability, we recommend installing at least 2 cloud connectors. So of course, that the for our setup today, for the purpose of the demo, I only installed one Citrix Cloud Connector. But the best practice is, of course, we install 2 cloud connectors for our resource location. Okay. For the next one is I'm going to go back to the landing page and focus on the virtual apps and desktop service. So I'm going to click manage. Okay, it may take a while. So as you can see, so for the virtual apps and desktop service, this will be the welcome page. So this is the welcome page for the virtual apps and desktop service. So as you can see, the welcome page, and if you scroll down, it will this will be the steps for you to provide, or for you to deliver an application and desktop to your user. So first of all is you need to connect the infrastructure, which is I already connected it, installed to Cloud Connector, which is I installed only one. Register resources, so install a virtual delivery agent. I already installed the VDA here. I already installed the VDA on our Windows Server 2019 and Windows 10 operating system. And the steps 3, 4, and 5. So this will be the one I will explain to you in a moment. And for you to for the guidance, for you also have here videos. So this is a YouTube videos that you can watch for you to have a guide when deploying Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service on on any type of resource location. So that will be the video. So I'm going to click Manage Service, or click Manage and Full Configuration. So as you can see here, I'm already on the Web Studio. So the Web Studio is the management pane for the administrators. And I'm going to highlight or run through this on the left side, the machine catalogs, delivery groups, applications, and others. So first of all is what I have here is the machine catalog. So the machine catalog is the collection of our machines. So what I have said a while ago, we have 2 machines that we will deliver on our users. We have Windows 10 and Windows Server 2019 machines. So apologies for my mistake. So I think this is mistakenly typed. So it's supposed to be Windows Server 2019. So as you can see here, the operating system Windows Server 2019. So apologies for this. So the next one is I'm going to focus first on the hosting muna. So the hosting, so we need to add a connection from our Citrix Cloud to Microsoft Azure. for us to power manage our virtual machine. So for us to clone multiple virtual machines, we need to have a connection. So first of all is you need to add a connection and resources. And for this demo, I already configured it. So you just need to so as you can see, I named the connection properties Citrix Azure connection, and the next one is subscription ID. So the subscription ID is provided on Azure. So yeah, this is the subscription ID. I just copy and paste it, and all you need is the admin credential of Microsoft Azure, and that will be it. So you already configured the connection from your Citrix Cloud or Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service and Microsoft Azure. So you can now power manage your virtual machines and clone into multiple virtual machines. So as I said, you can now power manage if you have configured the connection properties. So in the hosting, but as you can see here, um, the power state is unmanaged. So this is unmanaged. It is because I configured it manually. So I didn't use any provisioning method like machine creation services. So I manually created this. So for the sake of this demo, I created this manually. So it is also because we have a limited resources on Microsoft Azure. That's why I only created 2 virtual machines for this demo. So that's why it is unmanaged. So I already discussed the machine catalog. It is the collection of virtual machines or of your machines. And the next one is the delivery group. So the delivery group, you will configure this for you to deliver what kind of, if it is desktop, if it is application and desktop, and also on what users or on what users you will deliver this Windows 10 or Windows Server machines. So I configured the Windows 10 delivery group to deliver a Windows 10 desktop. So as you can see, I'm delivering a Windows 10 desktop for this. So, and also I configured or I pick allow any authenticated users to use this delivery group. So it means that any users can use this virtual machine as long as they are domain users. And the next one is the Windows Server Delivery Group. On the Windows Server Delivery Group, I configured this to deliver applications and desktop. So we will see later on that this Windows Server delivers a virtual applications and virtual desktop. And the next one is the applications. So as you can see, these are all the applications that I will be delivering on our users. We have multiple applications like MS Office, Calculator, Google Chrome. So some basic applications that I want for my user. So as you can see, we have multiple applications here. And of course, if you want to virtualize GPU or high intensive application, of course we need to have a GPU or graphics card on our virtual machines. So Citrix can also deliver a high intensive applications such as we can run AutoCAD on Citrix for engineering or architecture applications. We can deliver high intensive applications for our users. So these are all of my applications. And the next one is the policies. So for this demo, I only configured 3 policies for this. So the session watermarking, which is discussed by Sir Norman a while ago, copy paste restriction, and desktop wallpaper policy. So I will discuss to you this when I'm accessing the virtual session. And of course, we have here the logging. So for the logging, you can see all of the configurations that we made yesterday, Monday, last week. So you can see almost most of the configurations that we did. So the date, the time, the status, if it is successful or if it is failed. All of this will be recorded here on loggings. And for the administrator, we can also see the administrators here. So these are the administrator for our Citrix Cloud environment. So I'm here, I'm Royce Mendoza. So we also have two users that can manage this Citrix Cloud. And also for you to manage or for you to assign roles for the Citrix Cloud or for the Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service. So for example, you need a help desk administrator or delivery group administrator that the administrator can access only the delivery group sign or the machine catalog. You can configure it on the identity and access management on the administrators. So as you can see, so it's almost it's the same as and for example, I'm going to edit this administrator. So I'm going to edit edit an access. Okay, just taking a while. So as you can see, this specific user has a full access. So if you want to if you want a custom access or you want to have a specific access for this user, you can click or tick the custom access radio button. And what you have here is the Citrix Cloud Services. So we have analytics, application delivery management, content collaboration, and for this demo, virtual apps and desktop. So as you can see here, all of it are the cloud administrator, delivery group administrator are checked. So you can specify what type of access you want for this type of user. So for example, cloud administrator, machine catalog. So all of that will be configured here. So you just need to click save and that will be it. Okay. Okay. Now next one is I already discussed the hosting a while ago and storefront. So if you are using Citrix Cloud or Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service, storefront is not needed. But also you can provision a storefront on-prem. So you just need to add a storefront server here on-prem, or it can be also on Microsoft Azure. So for this demo, I didn't configure the storefront, so I'm going to focus now on how to access or on the user experience or the user access side. So for you to know what is your URL, you just need to go to overview and click the URL here. So this is my URL. So this is URL will be the URL that our user is going to be accessed. So you just need to click this. So for this demo, I created one administrator, Citrix admin, and 3 Citrix user. So first of all is I'm going to provide the domain. Next one is the username. And of course, the password. So as you can see here, we have password token. So for you to enable this, for you to have another OTP or another token, so you just need to go to Citrix Cloud, Identity and Access Management. And on the authentication side, you need to configure Active Directory plus token. So you just need to enable this. So you just need to click these 3 dots and click enable or connect. So after you click the connect button or enable, so you can go to manage subscriber access. So after this, you just need to tick this radio button, Active Directory plus token. So after you select this, the authentication page will be like this. So password token. So if you don't have any token, you just need to have an third-party authenticator app like Microsoft Authenticator or Citrix SSO for this. So for this demo, I'm using Microsoft Authenticator. So just a second. So I'm going to open my Microsoft Authenticator on my phone. And my one-time password is 488664. So for you to enroll your Microsoft Authenticator app, your Microsoft Authenticator app for this one, you just need to scan the QR code. And so after you provided the correct credential, the correct username, password, and of course the token, so it will redirect you to this page. So this page, as you can see, we have the virtual applications that we configured. So these are all the virtual applications that we configured and delivered this to specific users, the Citrix user one. So what we have here is the virtual apps and the virtual desktop. So for the virtual apps, we have multiple applications. So as you can see here, we deliver Access, Calculator, Google Chrome, Notepad, and you can now launch this virtual application, just like, for example, you want to launch Paint. So after clicking Paint, so it will download an ICA file. So you have the choice if you want this to download as ICA file. So it will open on Citrix Workspace app, or we can leverage or use Citrix or the HTML5 feature of Citrix. So if we use the HTML5, it will open another tab on your browser. So after opening another tab, it will launch the application. So I'm using Paint for this. As you can see, we have the Paint. So this is a virtual application. So this application runs on Microsoft Azure. So it runs on the Windows Server 2019 virtual machine. So as you can see, we can now test. So just like a normal virtual applications. So as you can see also here, we have session watermark. So CTX user1 at ctx-azure.com, and also the computer name. So this is an added security feature for your virtual session. So just like, for example, um, you are accessing an information of the company that hindi pwedeng ibigay or hindi pwedeng ma-screenshot. So if the user wants to screenshot that, so malolocate pa rin natin because of the session watermarking that we provided here. So for the virtual apps, that's it. So I can also launch different applications here. And now next is the desktop. So for the desktop, I delivered two desktop. So Windows 10 desktop and Windows Server 2019 desktop. So first, I'm going to launch a Windows 10 desktop for our demo. So as you can see, the Windows 10 desktop is launching. So aside from accessing this through accessing the Wordtext Syst or this URL through web browser or the browser base, you can also use Citrix Workspace app. You just need to download Citrix Workspace app on your endpoint, laptop, mobile phone, tablet. You just need to search for Citrix Workspace app that is downloadable on um, Google Play and App Store on if you're using iOS. So as you can see, we have here the Windows 10. So as you can see, we can create folder, test folder. We can create file. We can create a notepad file. So this Windows 10 is also running on Microsoft Azure. So as you can see, and as I said a while ago, we have here the session watermark, the CTX user1 at CTX Azure. We have also the host name, and we configured a restriction for copy paste. So just like, for example, you want to copy this file from the virtual session to your local machine. So I'm going to click copy. So what I have here is my local machine. So I'm going to paste it. So as you can see, paste is disabled. So I cannot copy paste from the virtual session to my local machine. So for example, I'm going to copy. I'm going to test copy or so I'm going to copy this from Paste. So just like, for example, I'm going to copy this, copy. So of course, I cannot paste it here. So instead, I cannot I cannot paste it here. So as you can see, I copied the test notepad file a while ago, and it pasted here. So I didn't copy that copy paste restriction file name, but yeah. Okay, so that's for the copy paste restriction policy. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. So this is for the Windows 10 machine. So I'm going to disconnect. Now I'll try the Windows Server 2019 desktop. So for the Windows Server 2019 desktop. So as I said also a while ago, you can launch the Windows 10 desktop or Windows Server 2019 desktop on an HTML5 basis. So it can be launched also on browser. So this is my Windows Server 2019 desktop. So as you can see, we have here sample application, Google Chrome. And of course, I have here the Microsoft Word, all of the applications that I said a while ago, the Access, Excel, Google Chrome, Microsoft Teams, PowerPoint. So as you can see, just like a normal desktop, so you can you can browse, you can search. So yeah. So if any question about my demo, so I think that will be for my demo. So I already discussed most of my demo. So if you have any questions, feel free to chat. So I hope this gives you an overview, or this gives you a background on Citrix and Azure platform as the resource location, or Azure platform as your workload resources for Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service. So any questions po? So I'm willing to answer questions. If none, Miss Rose, Miss V.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, Royce. Do we have any questions from the chat panel? Wait lang ha. Let me check, Royce. So
Yeah.
far wala naman.
Okay.
Oo. I think
Uh,
Royce naman was able to presented how Citrix and Azure works together, and yung value ng Azure, as you can see, Rose, no, 'di ba? Just to for the audience sake, just to let you know, we're using Citrix in Wordtext. So even if we currently work from home, we can access all the app that we need in order to process order, ganyan, remotely, because we're using Citrix po. Iyon. Di ba,
yes,
Rose?
I agree. I agree.
We have one
Oh,
question pala from the from the chat box from Miss Corazon Ang. What is the performance of this solution on 2 Mbps internet connection?
okay. Royce?
Miss Corazon, may I ask 2 Mbps internet connection from user side, or so user connectivity from is this for a user connectivity, ma'am? So I assume user connectivity po. So for Citrix, we usually run maybe around 400 to 800 kbps. So just to be safe, 1 Mbps per user. So it depends po sa mga applications and desktop na iraran nila. So kay Citrix, nagre-range lang po siya for about 400 to 800 kbps. And po, so per user is Kaya niya po niya mag-run ng mga applications ng kaya na po ng mga 1 Mbps just to be safe na lang po. So even you use mobile data, so you can use Citrix po.
Okay, thank you, Royce, for your answer. Any more question?
I hope nasagot po.
Yes, I hope it's clear, Miss Corazon.
Yep. Okay na daw po. Thank you, Ms. Carson, for your question.
Thank you. Any more question before we proceed to our quizzes or game?
I don't have a question, but my name is Jason Jacobs. I'm currently the Citrix Program Manager for Microsoft that looks after Asia. I just want to congratulate Wordtext Systems because this is one of the great seminars that I've attended. I've attended a lot across the regions, and Miss Rose, Miss Vivi, you guys should be television presenters. It's fantastic. And Mr. Norman and Mr. Royce, you did a very, very good presentation today. So I just want to congratulate you on a wonderful event.
Thank you so much, Jason. It's good to have you here in our event.
Thanks, Jason. So, if we don't have any question, can we proceed now, Bibs? Oh,
All right, Rose.
Another question? Correct?
Okay. Yeah. Sige, Rose, you may read the question na.
Wait.
Ako na lang.
Yes. Can you please
Sige.
read it?
Medyo may technical problem kay Rose, right? Okay. The question is there a maximum number of users or desktops for Citrix? From Sir Mark Anthony Garcia.
So Sir Mark Anthony, good morning po. Users or desktop for Citrix. So delivering desktop for users po ba to, sir? So kung meron po bang maximum number of desktops or applications na pwedeng i-deliver para sa mga users natin? Am I correct po ba? Wala po tayo, sir. Wala po tayong maximum number of users. As long as ayun sir, need po natin i-size up yung mga resources and ayun po. May i-deliver po natin siya using Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service. So yung licensing po pala ni Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop Service is usually per user po siya or concurrent users po.
All right, Sir Mark, did Royce answer your question po? All right, thank you, Sir Mark. Any more questions from the audience, please? Before we proceed to the quizzes po. Wala nang pahabol?
Yeah,
Alright.
I guess wala. If meron man pahabol, we can still answer it naman while still on our event. Or they can just email us, Vivian, for any queries and even a request
Yes,
for
Rose.
with their team.
So, on the feedback form, I think, are we done na?
Yes, and I guess that's it. And we hope you have learned something from us today. And again, please don't forget to fill up the form or feedback form that will be sent to you guys or on our chat box. On behalf of Citrix, Microsoft, and WSI, thank you for all making time in your busy schedule. So to join us today, and we are looking forward to hear from you. So by the way, if you wish to get our experts' contact details, you may set up a one-on-one presentation with them, and details will be provided at the screen. So I wish you all a pleasant day ahead, and we're looking forward to have a transaction with you. Stay safe, and that's it for today. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks, Principals Norman, Miss Barbara, and Royce. Thank you.